Welcome to the show. It is Mother's Day 2018. If you are a mother, thank you. Thank you for, having children. Guys, we just do a deposit and leave. That's pretty easy for us. But you guys you can make it possible. I saw a thing yesterday, I posted it on Facebook, it was a Dairy Queen sign, and it said, because of you, your mom pees a little when she coughs or sneezes. Buy her an ice cream cake. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, welcome to the show. We've got much to get to. Much to get to as the show progresses this afternoon. I'm just going to tell you real quick, guys, a change of plans in my career. See this right up here? That's where I'm going to be working. I'm going to be selling cars during the week and on Saturdays. And it's here in the Kansas City area. And this is what I'm going to do. Radio has been kind of very hard on me and my family. Very hard on me and my family. Will I return to radio? I don't know. We'll see. I'm good at it. I mean, to sound arrogant or anything, but I'm good at it. I'm good at radio. So, we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I'm going to be the best effing car salesman in the history of mankind. That's my goal. All right. So, welcome to the show. Column in the Wall Street Journal, Kimberly Strassel, who I just admire more and more every time I watch her. She wrote a column about that FBI source. Did the Bureau engage in outright spying against the 2016 Trump campaign? This is gigantic, okay? This is gigantic. We all know about the dossier paid for by Hillary Clinton. Barack Obama's Organizing for America and the Democrat Party. We all know about that, all right? That happened. And it was used to get a FISA warrant to wiretap the Trump campaign, to go after the Trump campaign, to go after a number of different people associated with the campaign. And it was nefarious. It did not have any sort of credibility. But it was used. It was used by the DNC to go after Donald Trump and wiretap. Now we find out from Kimberly Strassel, the FBI also embedded an agent in the Trump campaign to spy on them. This would make the Hoover administration, as far as the FBI is concerned, it would make them blush. This is J. Edgar Hoover had nothing on this. Barack Obama weaponized different departments of the federal government against his enemies. He weaponized the IRS against conservative 501c3s to keep them from getting their non-tax status before the 2010 election, to shut them up, to delay it. He weaponized the EPA to go after people who have ponds in their backyard. And now we know that he weaponized the FBI. Unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. We'll get to Kimberly Strassel in a second here. From the column that she wrote, I believe I know the name of the informant, but my intelligence sources did not provide it to me and refused to confirm it. It would therefore be irresponsible to publish the name of the informant. It's time to rip off the Band-Aid. We also know that among the Justice Department's stated reasons for not complying with the Nunes subpoena was its worry that to do so might damage international relationships, whatever. This suggests the source. This is gigantic. This is the deep state. Now, there are a couple reasons for this. I contend that the Russian collusion investigation by Robert Mueller was a way to distract from the real collusion, which was Hillary Clinton's State Department with the Russian government, and what would have been further collusion with the Russian government as the President of the United States. The Clinton Foundation got $150,000, or $150 million, pardon me, from state-owned companies in Russia. And then they got the Uranium One deal. Uranium One got 20% of our mining rights for uranium in the country. We had a bought and paid for State Department. And then when Hillary Clinton wasn't elected, the Clinton Foundation folded. Just went away. Why? No influence to sow. There's no more influence to sow. You have a deep state in Washington, D.C. We know that. We had an outsider in Donald Trump. What we didn't realize is that while popular culture was laughing at the prospect of Donald Trump being a president, the deep state in Washington, D.C., those who move to Washington, D.C. and spend their entire lives telling us how to live ours, they were freaked out by Trump because they knew the largesse that they've enjoyed for so many years could be waning. And so they wanted to do anything to disrupt or destroy the Trump campaign. If that didn't work, they were going to do the transition team. If that didn't work, right now they're working to destroy the presidency. And through it all, none of their efforts have worked. None of their efforts have worked. Here is Kimberly Strassel on Fox News talking about an FBI agent embedded in the campaign, spying without a warrant, spying on a private individual running for president.
Well, look, up until last week, all we knew was that House Intelligence Chairman Devin Nunes had initiated a new line of inquiry and was demanding new documents from the Department of Justice. But then in their desire to make Chairman Nunes look bad and justify why they were not giving those documents, someone in the government leaked a lot of details about what was happening. It turns out he's asking about a top secret government source who has worked for the FBI and the CIA, who is a U.S. citizen, would seem to have some sort of entanglement with foreign intelligence agencies, or maybe is based overseas. And based on all those breadcrumbs and some reporting, I've got a pretty good sense of who it is. And it does look as though, indeed, there was an FBI attempt, a successful one, to basically go out and spy with a human asset on the Trump campaign.
Unbelievable. This is government at its absolute worst. This is beyond corrupt. This is beyond corrupt. To implant a spy in a presidential campaign because you don't want that person to be elected. This on top of the FISA warrant, this on top of the struck Lisa Page texts about how badly they wanted Hillary Clinton to win. Oh, the FBI got weaponized. We're just scratching the surface on this. Hopefully, as more of this is exposed, we'll drain the swamp even further. I hope so. I hope so. Donald Trump had some successes the last couple of weeks. Even SNL, apparently their weekend update last night, they even had to admit that Trump was winning last week. He had a great week. Great couple of weeks. And then there have been a bunch of great weeks. Unemployment's at 3.9%. Food stamp usage is way down. We had Kim Jong-un walk across the DMZ, the most highly guarded and monitored border in the world. He walked across the DMZ and shook hands with the president of South Korea. Donald Trump got 3 hostages from North Korea, and he didn't have to give anything up for it. He didn't have to give up Taliban generals. He didn't have to send pallets of money. He basically has said that he would unleash fire and fury on North Korea. He said that I've got a nuke button on my desk, too. It's much bigger than yours, and mine works. He called Kim Jong-un Little Rocket Man. And then he went to China and he said, knock off sending them oil, knock off sending them goods. We will tariff you to death. You will lose. You've been suckling on our teat for a very long time, China. We had surveillance video from satellite showing that China was sneaking oil into North Korea. Donald Trump said, knock it off. Kim Jong-un's war machine is a paper tiger. They have no way to support. They have no way to support an extended campaign. They don't have the money. They don't have the resources. And as I like to say, with the latest embargo, he can't get his Courvoisier. He can't get his Mercedes-Benz. Mike Pompeo went over. First 2 weeks, Secretary of State goes to North Korea and secures the release of 3 Americans. One has been held since 2015. Unbelievable. There's a difference. Barack Obama, Otto Warmbier, brought back from Korea a tortured, damaged, and fatally injured individual who died. Donald Trump, 3 Americans, no concessions. That's it. Barack Obama, he got a traitor. He got Bo Bergdahl. He got a traitor and a deserter. And he traded powerful 4-star generals of the Taliban. The last 2 weeks also, Donald Trump in Syria, 5 ISIS leaders, the biggest names in ISIS, captured by U.S. forces. Captured by him. Tomorrow, the U.S. Embassy will open in Jerusalem. A promise that was made by Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and a campaign promise that Donald Trump made and is now doing it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Chuck Schumer, not terribly impressed by it, though. Chuck Schumer is what's the word I'm looking for? A douche supreme. Hold on one second. A douche supreme. Here he is downplaying the amazing thing that Donald Trump did by getting 3 Americans freed from North Korea, which never needed or wanted to release Americans in custody. They were pawns.
Chamber on the other end of the Capitol. Now on another matter, North Korea. Early this morning, the 3 American hostages who were being held in North Korea were returned home. It was great to see them come home, be back in America.
But
back with their families. It's a wonderful thing. But the exultation by the president and others of the greatness of North Korea doing this evades me. We can't be fooled into giving the North Korean regime credit.
God, this guy's such a tool.
For returning Americans that...
Not even a good tool, like a cheap tool. I mean, just like something you never use, like an avocado slicer.
Never should have been detained in the first place. American citizens are not diplomatic bargaining chips. So while we celebrate the return of the 3 Americans for the sake of their freedom and their families, we should not feel like we need to give Kim Jong-un anything in return.
And we didn't.
It is so true.
He's giving up his nuke program, idiot. He's dismantling, on the world stage, he's dismantling his nuke testing site.
To hear President Trump say that Kim Jong-un treated the Americans excellently. Kim Jong-un is a dictator.
Madeleine Albright was sent to North Korea by Bill Clinton, and she took a basketball signed by Michael Jordan, and she kissed his arse. I mean, in a big way. Kim Jong-il, I should say.
He capriciously detained American citizens, robbed them of their freedom, didn't let them go home to their families. Their release should not be exalted. It should be expected.
Unbelievable. Meanwhile, at least one American has rotted in an Iranian prison through the entire Obama administration. It's just honestly, what a tool. Wow. All right. Ian Burrell, and I mentioned this in a shorter podcast earlier today, writes for the UK Daily Mail. I'm not sure what his politics are, but they seem to be left-leaning. He has a column about, does Donald Trump deserve to win the Nobel Prize? And he clearly doesn't like Donald Trump as a person. You know, I'll just be honest. And I mean, I don't know if I really like Donald Trump as a person. It's kind of a scumbag. It's kind of a gross old dude, but whatever. When Donald Trump took the presidential oath of office 16 months ago, he promised the hour of action had arrived. For all his many faults and foibles, no one could accuse the property tycoon of failing to live up to his pledge. His short period in power has lurched from one crisis to another, many self-inflicted by a man who delights in crass stunts and stirring up trouble. As I just mentioned, North Korea will begin dismantling its nuclear test site in 2 weeks. Okay. Captured Americans return. Okay. In less than a year, Trump has gone from childishly taunting Rocket Man and threats of unleashing fire and fury to calling Kim Jong-un very honorable. This has led some Republicans and South Korea's president to suggest Trump should win the Nobel Prize. Absurd? Well, perhaps it might turn out no less absurd than his predecessor, Barack Obama, winning the prize at the offset of his presidency, which was absolutely absurd and pointless and a joke. And nobody who supports Barack Obama can tell me why he won the Nobel Prize when he had done nothing. For all his articulacy, I didn't even know that was a word, charm and smartness, Obama's passive style, dubbed leading from behind, achieved little of consequence on the great global issues today. No drama. Obama has been replaced by the most unpredictable and at times infidel U.S. president I've seen in my lifetime. He says, this column, Ian Burrell says that basically his only foreign policy breakthrough, apart from being in the White House when the U.S. forces found bin Laden, which was an ongoing operation Barack Obama didn't start it. He was just there when it happened. Was the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, which has been dumped by Donald Trump. And, of course, in Iran, they must have stores that feature, they literally must have like the Party City, except for they maybe call it Protest City, Death to America City, whatever, because they've got to have effigies of Donald Trump just lined up and American flags to burn. They must have like some sort of accelerant in them. They literally burned the American flag and said death to America in the parliament, whatever they call it. Bunch of, not going to say anything. But they've got to have, there's got to be death to America stores. I got to get a franchise over there. You can make some money. Seriously. To the end of this column, the concept of this shallow and vain character following his predecessor, Barack Obama, onto the Nobel podium seems risible. But if Trump pulls off peace in any of these turbulent hotspots with his disruptive approach to diplomacy, he deserves it. Whoa! And he does. I had mentioned in my podcast earlier today, and then this is going to rile some people. But I think Donald Trump's foreign policy and peace through strength has rivaled and surpassed, in time and scope, Ronald Reagan's presidency, the first term. In a year and a half, he surpassed Ronald Reagan. Unbelievable. Now, Reagan's 8 years in office culminated in the fall of the Soviet Union a little while after he left office. It did. We found out that the Soviet Union was a paper tiger. We will find out that North Korea is a paper tiger. They are. Now, does this mean they're any less dangerous with their nuclear, conventional arms, chemical weapons, biological weapons, that they're not dangerous to Japan? They're not dangerous to South Korea? They're not dangerous to China to some degree? No. But I got to tell you, North Korea could not, I do not believe, sustain a campaign for long. They don't have the fuel. They don't have the money. And once that, pardon the expression, wad is shot, it's over. Iran, like I said, is caterwauling because of dropping the nuclear deal, and they are indeed a paper tiger. You know, if Iran wants to F with us, bring it. They'll fall as quickly as Iraq did during George Herbert Walker Bush's Desert Storm campaign. They will fall that quickly. You don't want to F with us. We're not the same country as when Barack Obama was president. We don't bow to dictators. We don't. And it's time that the world stage recognized again that America is a powerful and very dangerous enemy. A very powerful and very dangerous enemy. By the way, the Islamic State, ISIL, has suffered devastating losses in Iraq and Syria under President Trump. They've decimated the group's territorial caliphate. It rose under Barack Obama. Remember all the videos of people being burned alive in cages and dropped in acid and having their heads sawed off while Barack Obama was president? I haven't seen any of those videos lately. Have you? Have you? I haven't seen any nuclear, I haven't seen any missile launches from North Korea over China or into the South China Sea. Have you? I haven't seen any surveillance of underground nuclear tests in North Korea. Unbelievable. Ultimately squeezing the jihadists into ever-shrinking pockets of land in Syria. U.S. Major Adrian Rakeen Galloway, Pentagon spokesman, says ISIS have been reduced to small presence in Syria. They're still dangerous. He says, as the president has said, we will ensure that ISIS cannot return and that all populations liberated from ISIS are not exploited by Bashar al-Assad, his regime, or Iranian supporters. And we're going to squeeze Iran, man. We are going to squeeze Iran in a very big way. In a very big way. Because first comes the nuclear deal revocation, dropping out of it, basically telling Iran, screw you. And then come the economic sanctions, and Donald Trump has talked about, squeezing Europe, the supporters of Iran, those who trade with Iran, like France. Peace through strength, man. We are a very dangerous and powerful enemy. So you need to decide what side of history you're going to be on, or you're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get your ass kicked. That's it. Coming up, I've got a story that is just, oh, my Lord. This woman goes out with a guy a couple times. She got on a millionaire's website, supposedly fell in love with him, but just went absolutely bananas. Bonkers, crazy, nuts. Unbelievable. Oh, when you hear this story, she makes Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction look like, perfectly sane, logical woman. I mean, just wait. I started watching this last night on Netflix. I want you to, real quick, I want you to see this because like I said, I started. This is a real story out of Erie, Pennsylvania. And I'll play a little bit of the trailer, and I watched it last night. I'll tell you about it.
911, Richard, we just been robbed.
We got him out of the car and cuffed him. I started hearing a beat. His eyes just got real wide.
A potential hostage sent into the bank with an explosive around their neck.
Wow.
Something like this had never happened before in the history of the FBI.
For being a small town, Erie has its share of bizarre events, but there is nothing that raised so many questions as this case.
The call was made to the pizza shop at 1:30. Brian Wells drove to the site where the pizzas were to be delivered.
The man told police that he was forced to rob the bank.
The FBI believe that whoever built the caller is patient and secretive.
Brian Wells said he was supposed to go on a scavenger hunt, and he was supposed to go from point A to point B to point C, where the keys would be given him to release this.
Wow.
This made worldwide news.
The purpose of the pizza bomber plot? Money.
How could this happen? Who's the mastermind?
Please, what's your emergency?
There's a woman that you might want to question.
He's the one that did it. Two of these co-conspirators.
There was a lot of tips coming in, but no smoking gun.
We didn't have DNA, fingerprints.
The bomb had wires that didn't mean anything to prevent the bomb squad from tampering with it.
Do you make the bomb?
No.
Liar.
It's a bank robbery, but it's a scavenger hunt. Guy has a cane gun, and it was actually loaded.
Unreal.
Who put this in motion?
I did nothing.
Who actually said, hey, let's rob a bank?
She laughed about it. She said, I got away with it.
Was Wells a victim or participant?
Evil Genius, guys. This is great TV. I made it through 2 episodes last night. I watched Time Cop with my wife. Then I got my second wind, and I stayed up and I watched 2 episodes of Evil Genius on Netflix. It's just damn good TV, and it gets so effing twisted. You have no idea. Bodies in freezers. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable. You got to see it. You got to see it. It's fantastic, fantastic. I don't know. There's just some great damn television out there. Oh, this is a story about, the country, how we're doing. Poll released by CNN shows that optimism about the direction of the country under President Trump has hit an 11-year high of 57%. I do believe that's preceding the Obama administration. The last time the same poll registered a number that high was January 2007. This includes 40% of Democrats, which is a leap of 15 points from last month. Making America great again, baby. Making America great again. Yeah. I got a couple of candidates who are running for office. And one of them is a Republican and one of them is a Democrat. Georgia gubernatorial candidate is running. He's a Republican, Brian Kemp. And he has a new commercial that is it celebrates political incorrectness. Go ahead and run this spot. I think it's spot on. I think it's fun. It helped get people elected, like the governor of Missouri, Eric Greitens, who's in all sorts of hot water right now. Well, let's check it out.
So conservative, I blow up government spending. I own guns that no one's taking away. My chainsaw's ready to rip up some regulations.
I love this guy.
I got a big truck, just in case I need to round up criminal illegals and take them home myself. Yep, I just said that. I'm Brian Kemp. If you want a politically incorrect conservative, that's me.
I love it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And part of it is just to make people mad, stir things up a little bit, and part of it's to inspire the base. I'm sick of political correctness, and then the country is. And then you've got a Democrat House candidate Pat Davis. There is profanity in this, by the way. Guy's a former U.S. Capitol Police officer running for Congress. And here's what he had to say. And again, there's an F-bomb. I'm just going to tell you. There's an F-bomb. If you're offended by the F-bomb, I turn down the volume, whatever. But this is real classy. Check this out.
Fuck the NRA. Their pro-gun policies have resulted in dead children, dead mothers, and dead fathers. I'm Pat Davis, and I approve this message because if Congress won't change our gun laws, we're changing Congress.
Let's hear it again.
Fuck the NRA. Their pro-gun policies have resulted in dead children, dead mothers, and dead fathers.
You're an idiot, sir. The NRA had nothing to do with that, you moron. You pathetic moron. You foul, obscene, awful person who will not be elected. The NRA had nothing to do with that. Nothing. This is an enemy that you have identified, and you're going to go after the NRA. I'm a member of the NRA. F you. F you. Let's listen to this fool again.
Fuck the NRA. Their pro-gun policies have resulted in dead children, dead mothers, and dead fathers.
No, they haven't, you idiot. You absolute idiot moron. I don't even know where to start. We have the Second Amendment. We have the right to keep and bear arms. The NRA is not responsible for any of that. None of these mass shooters, none of these people who go out and do mass shooters are NRA members. This is the sort of coarse, foul, grotesque discourse. This is sickening. And you know what? Shame on you. Shame on you. I hope you get your butt handed to you, sir. F you. F you. And you know what the TV station that had the ad? They can't censor it. They are required to run the clip without any editing. Bill Anderson, station manager, said we've received a request for airtime from a legitimate federal candidate for office, and according to federal election rules, we are required to give him the same access as his opponents. This station, by law, is not permitted to censor in any way, edit this commercial. We can, what we can control, however, is the 15 seconds of airtime preceding it, which we will use to warn a viewer of possible offense, disclaim our own views, and cite the federal laws imposed on candidates and TV stations. Davis defends the ad and says its runtime placements are strategically aimed at times that will target adult audiences. Kids aren't watching the news shows on Sunday morning or the in-depth policy wonk shows where they be running. Doesn't matter. NRA spokesman Jennifer Baker said at least the gun control lobby and their Second Amendment shills are keeping the campaign to ban guns classy. Beyond that observation, I won't dignify their obscenity with a response. Honestly. Sick. Oh, this is a great campaign bite. This is Nancy Pelosi last week promising, and I love this. Oh, we got to run the crap out of this. Let me see if I can find it here. I thought I had Pelosi here. Promising higher taxes. Hold on. Maybe I don't have it. Oh. Well, basically, she said, Democrats are going to have higher taxes. What do the Democrats have to offer right now, guys? What do they have to offer right now? Honestly. Minimum wage. Government work. Not jobs. Government work. Infrastructure, which they never fulfilled during the Obama administration. And higher taxes. That's a hell. And we're going to attempt to. We are going to attempt to impeach Donald Trump. That's another thing. They're going to attempt to impeach Donald Trump. Yeah, that's optimism, brother. Yeah, you take that against 3.9% unemployment. All the statistics I mentioned earlier. You see how successful you are with that, kids. See how successful you are with that. Honestly. This is kind of funny. Melania is going up dramatically as far as popularity of baby names. Among the top 5 baby names in rising popularity last year. The name Melania came in second behind Inslee, Oakland, and Dream. Dear Lord. The name Melania flew 720 spots up the charts, and I'm Casey Kasem. From 2016 to 2017, 57% of Americans viewed her favorably. If she were a Democrat, she would be the second coming of Jackie O. Just the way it is. She would be. No, this is. Listen to this. Couple of tech stories I think you'll enjoy. Google's new products will write emails and make phone calls for you. Did you know that? They're experimenting with a new app that makes phone calls for you. You want to hear a phone call? This is actually a real phone call. Google was showing off its new virtual assistant. Listen to the person making the phone call to the hair salon.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
This is just, come on, man. Oh. And I have an Alexa right behind me. And I don't like to say her name too loud because she's listening. See her back there? Yeah, kind of weird. Amazon working with Lennar to demo model homes that can be controlled by Alexa. Customers who visit the new Amazon Experience Centers can now see Alexa control their thermostat, shades, lights, and more. This is that classic, the home of the future. Remember those Disney? There's a Disney cartoon about the home of the future, and then there's, I think there was a Warner Brothers cartoon, the home of the future, where robots. It's here. It's here, and it's beyond our wildest imaginations. This is just amazing. Amazon Experience Center, model homes containing built-in Alexa-controlled appliances in hopes of persuading homeowners and home buyers to embed Amazon services into their houses. TVs connected to Amazon's Fire system, buttons that can reorder goods from Amazon, the Alexa-enabled products that allow customers to control the lights, TV, shades, and other appliances with their voices. Customers can tour the homes in cities around the country. Oh, this is scary. And it wouldn't be so scary if these companies weren't controlled by really dangerous people. Very left-leaning political ideologues. That's the scary thing. That's the scary thing. An unelected control of our lives by someone who is a left-leaning individual and company. Yeah. You want to hear this? This is the craziest story. This is the craziest story I've ever seen with regard to an insane woman stalker. Arizona woman been accused of stalking a man after she broke into his home. They dated. I don't know if they dated. I heard they dated 1 time or 3 times, and she sent him 65,000 texts. 65,000 texts. Jacqueline AIDS, 31. Multiple times was told to leave the victim alone, but she was arrested when the man called them to report the remote surveillance, alerted him that she was walking around outside his home. In her car, she had a large butcher knife found sitting on top of a sheaf of court orders ordering her to stay away from the guy. Here's the story from, I'm not sure which TV station this is, but it is in Phoenix. We'll just watch this, and I'll stop and comment. It's nuts. It's nuts.
I met him online. I was looking for my healing angel. The psychic I met told me I would meet a healing angel.
She says she met him on Luxy, a dating site where millionaires go to...
Hold on. Let's go back to the beginning there. You can hear that again.
Fowler.
I met him online. I was looking for my healing angel. The psychic I met told me I would meet a healing angel.
Look at the crazy in her eyes. If you're just listening to this on iTunes, you downloaded it. This woman is bat crap. I mean, obviously, 65,000 decks and a butcher knife in the car. But dear God in heaven, I've never seen this crazy.
She says she met him on Luxy, a dating site where millionaires go to find love. And if you ask Jacqueline Addis, the spark was instant.
It's Addis, not AIDS. It's ADES, whatever.
I felt like I met my soulmate and everything was just the way it was. And I thought we would just do what everybody else did and we would just get married and everything would be fine. But that's not what happened.
Turns out that spark was one-sided when the victim, a Paradise Valley millionaire, told her he wasn't interested.
And you don't stop giving, even if you don't receive. You all of a sudden receive a lot.
That's one way to look at love, but Paradise Valley police say Addis took it too far. We're talking 65,000 text messages in the last few months. Chilling threats, according to police reports.
Oh, listen to this. It gets super nuts.
Some of those texts read, quote, "I don't want to be a murderer." Police reports state Addis also texted the victim saying she would cut up his body, wear his body parts, and bathe in his blood.
Wow. When you put it that way, let's go ahead and start dating again. I didn't know I was that important to you. What the hell? Yeah. Huh?
In our jailhouse interview, Addis did not want to talk about the alleged stalking or harassment. She ignored questions about showing up at his work, claiming to be his wife, or allegedly breaking into his home and bathing in his tub. When we asked her if she would actually hurt him...
No. Oh my God, no, I love him so much.
Oh God! Oh my God!
I just want to love him so much, that's it. And if he doesn't like it, then I'll go home and I'll love my ex-boyfriend.
wonder why he's your ex. Okay. Wow. Bananas. Hey, guys, I have a line of politically incorrect swag that I think you're really going to enjoy. And it is available at teepublic.com, tpublic.com, and just look for Conservatees with 2 E's. Conservatees. You get 75 designs, and they're spectacular. Really, really cool stuff. You can have stuff put on onesies and T-shirts. There's a little one with an American flag heart that says adorable, deplorable. You can give that to your wife or girlfriend, or you could give it to you could have it on a onesie for baby. Really cool stuff. Also, another sponsor is Pit Barrel Cookers. Pit Barrel Cookers, American made. I made 3 racks of St. Louis style spare ribs today in my Liberty One, or in my Pit Barrel Cooker. You can order at liberty1tv.com, liberty1tv.com/cooker. Classic cookers. They will last you forever. You can slow roast, you can smoke, and you can grill. And they look like a barrel, and they got a horseshoe handle on the top, and it literally takes you 30 seconds to assemble the thing, because all you got to do is fasten the handle to the top. And they arrive delivery free, no cost for delivery. You're going to have this thing for a very long time. You're going to have it for a very long time. All right. I think that's going to do it for this Mother's Day edition of the Rob Carson Show podcast. The audio for this podcast will be available on iTunes at Rob Carson Show, iTunes at Rob Carson Show. All right? In the meantime, God bless all you moms out there. I'm going to be cutting back to 2 days a week on my podcast because I'm going to be selling cars at Hendrick Toyota Merriam. Just look up Hendrick Toyota Merriam, MERRIAM.com. If you live in the Kansas City area, come out and see me. I'll sell you a new Toyota or a killer-ass used car. All right? Talk to you soon, guys. God bless. On my podcast because I'm going to be selling... Oh, hold on 1 second. I got to kill the audio on this. Like I said, there we are. God bless. Have a glorious day, and I will see you again soon.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show.
There we go.
Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to The